Now hold on, before you skip ahead to the video, can you just please hear me out for a second? This video was not sponsored or anything like that. With that being said, the best way to help me out and to help spread this video around, do me the huge favor hitting that like and that subscribe button. It will mean the world to me to hit 5,000 subscribers. That's enough about me, onto the video. This is my take and opinions on Delta Force Hawk Ops. Well, I guess now it's called just Delta Force. Again, this is going to be an unbiased video, so I'll be giving you both the good and the bad. And I think it's fair for me to make this review, as I've practically been playing this game for a month straight. First, I would like to talk about the bad, because it's always nice to get the bad things over with first. So what are some of the faults that I have found in Delta Force? Well, in the Havoc Warfare game mode, which is the 32 versus 32 battlefield-like game, one of the biggest and most obvious issues with this is the bots. Now yes, I know the bots were placed in the game for server stability, faster queue times, and everything else that involves it. Now as the playtest was about a month long, I would have liked to see the bot numbers reduced over time, but sadly it didn't really seem like it. To me personally, when you get super high kill games and you know that half the enemies you killed are bots, it's not really that satisfying, at least for me. So hopefully with early access coming out in Q4 of this year, which I believe should be in October, hopefully they just plain out remove the bots, as I don't think anyone wants bots in a game, as it's just generally not fun. Now staying on the topic of bots in this game, for whatever reason, the devs thought it was a good idea to program the bots like a Terminator. The bots will beam you through smokes without seeing you, instantly 180 and 2-tap you to the head, then look away and crouch, not caring that you died. So if they do plan on having some bots in early access, just in the beginning stages, for again server stability or whatever, they might need to turn it down just a tad, so you're constantly not just getting beamed across the map or beamed through smokes by bots. Now, just like other FPS games, optimization is always going to be a key feature of these games. So hopefully when it comes to Delta Force, and I assume they're doing this, I hope so, is that they work better on optimization, as sometimes when I'm streaming and playing this game, I get a lot of frame drops. And again, it only happens on this game. There's a lot of clutter and things you really don't need on the screen. The fact that you can't even change or tune anti-aliasing is kind of crazy to me. It's like, no, I do not need to see that doorway perfectly rectangled off. I much rather have more FPS and that doorway look like a Minecraft block. It was getting pretty annoying that I even had to go download a config that literally went into the files and turned off those settings so I could actually play the game with proper frames. But I think when it comes to the settings of this game, I think most of the settings are done very well. I would like to see some tweaks to some other settings. Again, just better visual settings, and I want to crank that FOV even higher than 90. But turning away from the settings, let's actually talk about the weapons in this game. Now in my opinion, most of all the guns are pretty good, but with all the weapons being good, there's an issue that arises. There's not really damage drop off when it comes to the weapons, so you can practically beam people across the map with say the SMG-45, or take out people at a sniper range with an AR. Now, I'm not saying that ARs can't take out those ranges, but it should be a little more realistic in the aspect that not all weapons should be lasering you across the map. Staying on the topic of the weapons, and some of the loadout options for the weapons when you add attachments, there's some attachments that actually don't tell you what they do, or don't really give a detailed explanation. Like for instance, I didn't know that if you put a laser on your gun, that you actually get a faster ADS time. There's things like that, like small details that they seem to miss on. Now this is probably just a small little thing that they're worrying about. It's just a small sentence that you have to add to the weapon. But again, it's just something I would like to see them address or say something about. And take for instance the accuracy stat. The accuracy stat is you really don't need it. For whatever reason, it only deals with hipfire. Again, they don't say it, but we found it out. So again, hopefully they implement it a little bit better so that it's actually a usable stat. So you actually have to mess with your attachments and whatnot. But moving on away from that, let's talk about the maps in the game. There's two maps currently in the game for Havoc Warfare. Cracked, which is the desert-esque map, and Ascendant, which is the one with the caves and the ziplines. I do want to say that both of these maps are visually appealing, yes, but the flow of the maps are a little questionable at some times. Especially on Ascendant when it comes to the cave section of the map. Regardless of attack or defending, I truly believe that there should be no vehicles in the cave system whatsoever. The vehicles, if played really right at the cave section, are quite literally unkillable, Unless you have a friend that has balls of steel that runs out of the cave system with an RPG, most of the time if they're a really good vehicle player, there's no chance of destroying them. Now you could sit here and argue about that with me all day, but at the end of the day, it's my opinion and it's your opinion. I also believe that both of the maps are very attack-sided. I think I can count the number of times I lost on attack for both maps on my hands, as practically I never lose on attack. You pretty much have everything going for you. You have all the vehicles you could ever want, and you can super easily just flank around using certain routes, and practically no one will pay attention to you. So when it comes to Ascent and Cracked, hopefully they change the map. Now I want to talk a little bit more about the map Cracked. There's honestly some things in Cracked that really need a change. There's a lot of disgusting head glitches on this map, especially when you get to B1 and B2, and C1 and C2. One of the first head glitches that you'll come across is the one at B2, where you're quite literally just staring at the enemy spawn, as you can see in this clip. It's pretty hard to shoot the person shooting out from it, as it's a head glitch and there's the bars that you have to take account for. And then the next little tweak I would like to see is this other head glitch, which is if you jump across these rooftops on these buildings and get behind the supermarket sign, you actually get a pretty nasty head glitch. Again, to me, these areas in these maps are not going to make or break this game, but they're definitely something that should be looked at, as it can be pretty frustrating at some points. Then moving on to the topic of vehicles, I mean, it's just like any other shooter with vehicles. Vehicles can be strong or they can be weak. Most of the time, it's just a lot of players that play the support class that have the RPG that don't know how to shoot it and take out a vehicle. Honestly, it feels like some of the vehicles are pretty weak in this game, so it's pretty easy to take them out. But enough about the negatives of this game. Let's actually talk about the positives. So what are the positives of Delta Force Havoc Warfare? Well, the first and most obvious one is the weapon customization. The weapon customization in this game is really insane. You have loads of different attachments to choose from, and most of the time you're able to go in and calibrate all of the attachments, fitting it to your playstyle. Could some of the attachments and calibrations be tuned a little bit so they're a little easier to understand? Sure, they can. But at an overall standpoint, I think it's done extremely well. From the attachments, let's talk about the gunplay. I think the gunplay is done really well. It reminds me of a Battlefield 4 or even a Battlefield 3, where honestly the weapons just feel really solid. It feels nice to play another first-person shooter like this that just honestly feels a lot better than Battlefield 2042 and other games currently. I think if done right, just like most games, I think Delta Force has the potential of being a really great game. Now, besides the gunplay, we saw snippets of customization, different calling cards, a rank system. Although it's a little finicky at this point, there is a rank system, which is pretty cool for a game like this. It's something for players if they actually want to put in the hours and grind and improve their skill. You get cool rewards and things like that. And as you know, there's already weapon cosmetics, an Asimov M4, which I don't know if they have rights to, but you didn't hear that from me. And they plan on more character customization, and luckily it's not going to be insane cosmetics like Call of Duty or 2042. Because again, it's a free game, and a free game has to make money somehow. Now here are my closing statements on the Havoc Warfare game mode in Delta Force. Overall, I think it's a really great game mode for the game. I think it brings a lot of nostalgia factors of older battlefields, and it makes you coming back for more. I think with tweaking optimization, removing bots from the game, changing some minute details, I think Havoc Warfare has a great chance of being actually insane. Now onto the Havoc operations or tactical turmoil part of the video. Now I just want to say, if you made it this far into the video, why not drop a like and a sub so you can help me keep making these videos bigger and better. We now find ourselves at the talking point of the other game mode in Delta Force: Tactical Turmoil, Hazard Operations, DMZ 2.0, whatever you want to call it. Now again, just like the other section of this video, I want to talk about the negatives first. So some of the first and obvious negatives is again the optimization. I would say the optimization, it might be even a little worse than Havoc Warfare, at least for me, as again, I play and stream at the same time on the same PC. So I believe adjusting optimization or making it a little bit better would definitely help with frame rate, especially on this map, as the maps in Tactical Turmoil are ginormous, and I believe there's a lot of useless things that are rendered in that you can simply get rid of. Although it might change your aesthetic, I genuinely think it would just make the performance a whole lot better. But honestly, when it comes to the negatives of Tactical Turmoil, at least in my opinion, I generally didn't find that many negatives. I think how this DMZ or Havoc Warfare game mode is built, I think it's done actually fairly well. It's definitely a more casual extraction shooter compared to games like Arena Breakout Infinite or even Escape from Tarkov. and even DMZ from COD. I will say one thing that's a little interesting is the decision to have the abilities in the game mode. Now I understand they're trying to take a more casual approach and have implements of that of the Havoc Warfare game mode into Tactical Turmoil. The most obvious change they need to do is the recon dart on Luna. I definitely think the time it takes to recharge should definitely be increased, or make it you only have a couple uses of it. Constantly knowing where enemies are and just these AoE size that you scan people at is crazy. If you're running at least like 2 Lunas in a match and you actually alternate scans at the right time, you could practically know where players are all the time. And another negative I have, although this is pretty minute, is I think the amount of keycard access swipes you get with a keycard is pretty insane. You get 20 uses of a keycard. Just take that into account. If you have 20 uses and you go into the confidential game mode and you swipe the best room 20 times, you're 100% going to end up making profit out of those 20 uses. So I definitely think turning that use down would greatly help it to maybe 10 or even 5 uses. But I feel like the reason why they did it is they're just trying to make this more casual. And if you're trying to make it more casual, more players are going to run out and fight. And if you have more people running out and fighting, more people are going to need money. And that's where the 20 uses come in. So you can keep earning more money to keep fighting. But that's probably the only couple gripes that I have about this game mode. Now let's talk about the positives. I think this extraction game mode is done actually fairly well. I think it blows DMZ out of the water. I don't think DMZ can even compare to how good this actually is. But of course, there's always going to be those diehard DMZ players that are going to complain about this video. Well, tough. Coming from games like Arena Breakout and Tarkov, it's definitely nice to have this more casual system. You don't need to bring magazines in. You don't have to pack mags. All you have to do is reload and bring the right ammo. You can repair armor mid-raid. You can swap optics and attachments in the raid as well. There's auto searching, so you don't have to click buttons or individually search items. Again, the backpacks will automatically roll up if you're trying to put them into your stash. There's a whole black zone area that you can have all of your equipment out. It's like a lobby kind of in a way. It's like you're sitting on Destiny Earth, running around all of your little shops. The gunplay is fairly decent. It's almost identical to Havoc Warfare. So if you build the guns the right way, they should perform very well. I just generally think the extraction game mode is done super well. And if you were on the fence of playing this game mode like me, I definitely think you should give it a try. It's a way more casual, way more fun DMZ with the Havoc Warfare mechanics. There's bosses to do that show up on the map, which is a nice system to have. There's actually a lot of fighting versus players that happens, because again, it's a more casual, so people are willing to fight more. But another negative I forgot to add is ammo. The ammo price in this game is ridiculous. They definitely need to turn down the ammo prices. I shouldn't be paying 100k for 60 rounds of the blue tier ammo, so they definitely need to tweak the prices a bit, but that's just one of my small gripes. It's fairly easy to make money in this game, especially if you wipe a team. Usually they're going to have insane gear. You can take off weapon accessories off of enemy weapons and sell them for a better price, just like the other extraction games. You can repair armor mid-raid. The health system is fairly straightforward. Just like Arena Breakout, it gives you a hotkey of what health item you should use when you're hurt. But in summary, I think the extraction game mode is done fantastic. There's not a lot of changes they really need to make to it. I just honestly wish more people played this game. It feels like not that many people are playing the game right now, so hopefully when it does release, more people are inclined to play it. Now let me share with you some news about Delta Force. So sadly stated today, August 30th, the playtest is actually going to end September 8th, but when you log in between the 30th and the 8th, you can get some in-game goodies, some titles you can get, a new game mode you can try out, and much more. And they're dropping a whole bunch of keys if you didn't manage to get access, if you still want to try it before it's over. But keep in mind, with the ending of the playtest, means that early access is going to be coming out. They officially stated that early access is going to be coming out Q4 2024, and you'll also get a taste of the action at the next Steam Fest in October, where you'll be able to play the latest build of the game. Now Q4 can mean a lot of things. It can mean the game's coming out October, November, December, 3 of those months. Now when it does come to early access, the game is going to be available on Steam for everyone that has a PC. Then the console version will hopefully come out next year. As they stated, I think it was Q1, Q2 for console. I could be wrong. But like they originally said, they're going to try to get the game out as soon as possible once it comes out of the once it comes out of the playtest state and into early access. So once it comes into early access, they plan on having their first season with a whole bunch of goodies and cosmetics. If you made it this far into the video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. It greatly helps me out and it really does help me a lot. I think I just said that twice. But again, like always, I do want to ask if you're new here or find yourself coming back on the regular and you aren't already subscribed, why not? You're coming back anyways. And if you want to support me even further, why not become a YouTube member? It greatly helps me out if you become a YouTube member. It can keep pushing me to make bigger and better content for you all. I'm experimenting with a whole bunch of different content, and I have a whole bunch of exciting content planned in the near future. So make sure to come check it out. But anyways, I hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.